I knew Bala so little, and yet I feel I knew her all my life. From the time I first saw her, I thought, she will affect all dance, all theater, all performance that I am able to experience. Of who else, unless it be Maria Callas, can I say that? Quote from Lord Harewood, former artistic director, Edinburgh Festival. Tanjore Balasaraswati, more commonly known simply as Balasaraswati, and lovingly referred to as Bala, is considered to be one of the greatest performers of South India's classic dance style, Bharatanatyam. Not only as a breathtaking dancer and captivating singer, but many consider her to have single-handedly brought the ancient art form into the 20th century. She came from a long line of prominent performers, rose to fame at an early age, achieved international recognition, and helped leave a legacy of her dance and vocal technique which remains today. Her children and grandchildren have carried on the family tradition of classical performance, as well as carrying on in her name by continuing her work with schools here in the U.S. and in India, ensuring this ancient form's place in the future of Indian dance. Let's take a closer look at the wonderful life, career, and legacy she left behind. Bharatanatyam is the oldest classical dance style in India and probably the most revered. It can be traced back to the Natyashastra. It gets its name from the Sanskrit words Bharata and Natyam, meaning emotions, raga, melody, and tala, rhythm. Natyam means dance. This combination of song and dance is traditionally performed solo by a female singer-dancer. The ornate sari-clad dancer uses makeup on the face as well as the hands and feet to emphasize the expression of the dance. A series of mudras, or specific gestures, are performed along with the sung Sanskrit with grace and beauty. It takes a truly disciplined person to master the art form, but to be able to lead an audience to experience the powerful sentiment or rasa that the piece evokes requires something more, something from the soul, and Balasaraswati had that something special. She was called the Queen of Abhinaya, and her gift was noticed at a very early age. Born in Madras, modern-day Chennai, in southeast India in May of 1918, Bala was a ninth-generation performer. She was a descendant of Papa Mal, an 18th century musician and dancer in the Tanjore court. Her grandmother, Vinay Dhanamal, was one of India's most influential musicians of the time. She was a singer and a master of the Saraswati Veena, seen here. Bala's mother, Jayamal, was also a singer of some renown and encouraged young Bala. At the urging of her talented family on both maternal and paternal sides, she began studying under the brilliant teacher Kandapan Pillai. By the mere age of 7, Balasaraswati had made her debut performance at the shrine of the goddess Devi in Kanchipuram. That special spark and evident devotion to her craft were seen right from the start, and soon she was one of the first performers to showcase this style outside of her province in southern India. In her teenage years, she was noticed by the international Indian dance star Uday Shankar, brother of the famous sitarist Ravi Shankar. Uday helped promote her work, and in the 1930s, she was performing all across India. She started to rehearse all hours of the day, beginning very early in the morning. The Bharatanatyam dancer had to focus on the voice, breath, perfection of the miming of specific gestures, and the expression seen in the body and face. Bala was a natural, and now she was a star. She grew to be in high demand. During the 1940s, her frequency of performance slowed quite drastically as the trends in the classical dance style changed. Bharatanatyam dancers were still considered by some a risque lifestyle, but Bala's mother had her carry on firmly in spite of these concerns. And in fact, Bala helped usher the next generation of dancers into a new light. She found a way to weave the oldest traditions of the form, which of course began in the shrines, into a more modern take without sacrificing any of the ritual and breathtaking pride of the performance. She helped preserve this ancient, truly Indian art, and by 1953, she opened up her first school in association with the Music School of Madras. In the 1960s, she could be seen all over the world with performances in Europe and throughout Asia. She made her debut in the US at Jacob's Pillow in 1962. She caught the attention of such greats as Martha Graham and Margot Fonteyn while appearing at the Edinburgh Festival in 1963. Here's a clip from the performance at that festival.
Balasaraswati performs a classical Indian dance.
This graceful star became a national treasure and was awarded a Sangeet Natak Akademi, which is presented by India's National Academy of Music, Dance, and Drama in 1955. In the 70s, she went on to hold residencies at Wesleyan University and continued to perform while focusing on teaching the next generations of Indian dancers. In 1977, Bala was awarded the prestigious Padma Vibhushan, a top civilian honor of India. By this time, her grown daughter, Lakshmi Knight, became her protege and was now rising to stardom in her own right. Throughout her illustrious career, Balasaraswati remained dedicated to the purity of the classical form of Bharatanatyam. Alongside Lakshmi, she oversaw many students in both India and the United States and helped pass on a new understanding and interpretation of this ancient technique, allowing it to weave its voice into the fabric of a modern global culture. Sadly, after a long illness, the great Bala passed away on February 4th, 1984. Today, her grandson, Aniruddha Knight, maintains the academy in Chennai and helps carry on her legacy, as well as that of his late mother, with musical performances around the world. Her son-in-law, Douglas Knight Jr., honored his magnificent mother-in-law with a long-awaited biography entitled Balasaraswati, Her Art and Life. Celebrations of her life through memorial concerts and birthday celebrations of the great star continue today, and many of India's top dance stars credit her as one of the largest influences of classical Indian dance. A career that spanned 60 years, a legacy that lives on today, and an ancient culture that owes a great deal to Balasaraswati for its place in modern Indian culture. Her profound influence is felt all over the world, and because of her, Bharatanatyam can live on for centuries to come. Thank you, Bala.